Good morning, students. Say your prayer. Yeah, thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book. So take page number 241. So in today's class, we will discuss about the democracy in India. So we have discussed the different forms of government. So in that, the democracy is the most dominant form of government followed by many countries. So India is following, that is India is adopted the democratic form of government. So in today's class, we will discuss about the democracy in India. So before entering into the class, just to recall what we have discussed in our previous class. So we have discussed the meaning of democracy, then the definition of democracy given by Mahatma Gandhi and Abraham Lincoln. So we discussed about the definition for democracy given by Mahatma Gandhi and Abraham Lincoln. And also we discussed about the salient features of democracy, that is the important features of democracy. Then the evolution of democracy, so where the democratic concept was first evolved. So it was evolved in Greece, ancient Greece. So before 2500 years ago, so the concept of democracy was emerged in ancient Greece. In India, Chanakya's Arthashastra tells about the way of democracy, that is about autonomous village in ancient India. Then in the later Chola period, the Cholas followed the Kodavoli system. So we discussed about that also. Then we discussed about the types of democracy. Then finally merits and demerits of democracy. So in democracy, both merits and demerits are there. So we have discussed about this and all in detail in our previous class. Okay, ma? In today's class, we discuss in detail about the democratic concept in India, how democracy was successful in India. Democracy in India. So India has a parliamentary form of government. So in democratic form of government, there are two types. One is parliamentary form and another one is presidential form. So in parliamentary form, the electorate, legislature and executive act independently. In the presidential form, the executive and the legislature is under the control of the electorate. Okay, va? So the parliamentary form of government was followed in India and England, while the presidential form of government is followed in America and France. So India adopted the parliamentary form of democracy. So the Indian parliament, so the members in the Indian parliament were the representatives of the people. So the Indian parliament comprises of the elected representatives of people and they make the laws for the country. So Indian parliament consists of the members elected by the people and they only make the laws for the country. So the participation of people in the decision making and the consent of citizens are the two important elements of the parliamentary form of government. Okay, ma? So the participation of people in the decision making. So in India, so people also participate in decision making through their representatives and the consent of citizens. So consent means so permission to do something especially given by somebody in authority. That is people only gave the permission to the representatives. Okay, ma? So how they gave means through election. Okay, ma? So through election, the people of India gave the permission to their representatives. Okay, ma? So India has a parliamentary form of government in which the parliament members were elected by the people and they make the laws for the country. So the people participate in decision making and the consent of citizens and that is the permission of the citizens. So are the two important elements in the parliamentary form of government. So India's parliamentary form of government so consists of two important elements. So one is the participation of people in decision making and the consent of citizens, that is the permission to do something. So only the citizens gave permission. So if they won't accept or if they didn't obey the or get the permission from the citizens means so they have to face them in election. So if they do anything wrong against the people of India means they have to, the representatives have to face the people in election. Okay, ma? So these are the two important elements of the parliamentary form of government in India. Democracy in India. So India has a parliamentary form of government. So in democratic form of government, there are two types. One is parliamentary form and another one is presidential form. So in parliamentary form, the electorate, legislature and executive act independently. In the presidential form, the executive and the legislature is under the control of the electorate. Okay, va? So the parliamentary form of government was followed in India and England, while the presidential form of government is followed in America and France. So India adopted the parliamentary form of democracy. So the Indian parliament, so the members in the Indian parliament were the representatives of the people. So the Indian parliament comprises of the elected representatives of people and they make the laws for the country. So Indian parliament consists of the members elected by the people and they only make the laws for the country. So the participation of people in the decision making and the consent of citizens are the two important elements of the parliamentary form of government. Okay, va? So the participation of people in the decision making. So in India, so people also participate in decision making through their representatives and the consent of citizens. So consent means so permission to do something especially given by somebody in authority. That is people only gave the permission to the representatives. Okay, va? So how they gave means through election. Okay, va? So through election, the people of India gave the permission to their representatives. Okay, va? So India has a parliamentary form of government in which the parliament members were elected by the people and they make the laws for the country. So the people participate in decision making and the consent of citizens and that is the permission of the citizens. So are the two important elements in the parliamentary form of government. So India's parliamentary form of government so consists of two important elements. So one is the participation of people in decision making and the consent of citizens, that is the permission to do something. So only the citizens gave permission. So if they won't accept or if they didn't obey the or get the permission from the citizens means so they have to face them in election. So if they do anything wrong against the people of India means they have to, the representatives have to face the people in election. Okay, so these are the two important elements of the parliamentary form of government in India. So India is the largest democratic country in the world. So if you take population wise, so which is the first populated country? China. But China is following communist type of government. So communism exists in China. Then if you take other countries, no country is as much population as like that of India. So we can say India is the largest democratic country in the world. So democracy in India works on 5 basic principles. So based on the 5 basic principles, so the democracy of India exists. So what are they? So they are sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. So sovereign, what do you mean by sovereign? Sovereign means so complete power to own a country. So sovereign means so complete power to own a country. That means India can take by decision by its own. So India can take decision of its own. Then socialism. So what do you mean by socialist? So it is a political belief that everyone has the equal right to share country's wealth and the government should own and control main industries. Okay, so socialism means it is a political belief that everyone has equal rights to share country's wealth. So in socialism, everyone have equal rights to share the wealth of a country. Okay, then secularism. So secular means so there is no official religion for the government. So government should not support any religion. So that is secular. Then democratic and republic. So democracy means so people's government. So republic means so the final decision making is vested with the people. So these are the 5 basic principles for the success of democracy in India. So 5 basic principles of democracy in India. So what are they? Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. So we know the Indian Parliament comprises of the elected representatives. So how was the elected representatives were elected? So who elect the representatives? Every person who is a citizen of India and who is not less than 18 years of age can access their right to vote in India. So every citizen of India who have completed 18 years of age can put their vote and choose their representative. There is no discrimination for the right to vote. So there is no discriminations like caste, creed, religion, region, gender, education, etc. Yeah, so whenever a person want to put vote means, so there is no discrimination against him to restrict him from voting. Yeah, so there is no restriction for a person to vote. Yeah, so just he have to completed 18 years of age. So every citizen who is a citizen of India, every person who is a citizen of India who have completed 18 years of age have the right to vote in Indian election. So this picture shows Edwin Lutyens and Herbert Baker. So they only constructed the Parliament House of India. So you know the Parliament building. So that's that round-shaped building. So it was designed by these British architects, Edwin Lutyens and Herbert Baker. So they began the construction in the year 1921 and ended in 1927. So these two persons only constructed our Parliament. Then elections in India, Election Commission of India. So India has a quasi-federal government. So what I mean by quasi-federal? Yeah, a system of government in which the individual states of a country have control over their own affairs but are controlled by central government for national decisions. So quasi-federal means, so partly federal. It is not unitary. So there are two forms of government. One is unitary and another one is federal. If you take unitary means the control vested with the complete control is under the central government only. So there is no state government. But India have state government there and also central government is there. Yeah. So quasi-federal means, so having a system of government in which the individual states of a country have control over their own affairs. So that means if you take India, there are a lot of states. There are 28 states now. So each state have their own government, so which control their own affairs. But they were controlled by one central government. So you know the central government now. Okay, so that type of government is called as quasi-federal. Okay, so India has a quasi-federal government with the elected representatives at the federal. So federal means at the center, at state and local levels. So local level means, so panchayat, you know, village panchayat. So local self-government. Okay, so India has so three levels of government. So federal, state and local, and the representatives were elected by the people of India. So how they elect? So through the general elections. Yeah, so the general elections are conducted by the Election Commission of India. So the Election Commission of India is situated at New Delhi. So you can see in this picture. So Nirbachan Sadan. So it is the head office of the Election Commission of India. Yeah. So India has a quasi-federal government. So with elected representatives at the federal, state and local levels. So these representatives were elected through the general elections which was conducted by the Election Commission of India. At national level, the President of India so appoints the Prime Minister who enjoys majority in the Lok Sabha, the lower house of the Parliament of India. So who can be elected as the Prime Minister? So we won't directly elect Prime Minister. So we just put vote for the Lok Sabha members. Yeah, so the Lok Sabha members elect their leader who will become the Prime Minister of India. Yeah, so the party which get majority support in the Lok Sabha will choose their leader and that leader will become the Prime Minister of India. So the Prime Minister of India was appointed by the President of India. So the lower house are also called as Lok Sabha. So the Prime Minister should be from Lok Sabha. Okay, so sometimes he may be from Rajya Sabha also, but he have to get support. He have to get a majority support from the Lok Sabha. Okay, Lok Sabha. So how was the members of Lok Sabha elected? So the members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected through general elections which takes place once in 5 years in normal circumstances. Okay, so the election to Lok Sabha conducted every 5 years once. Yeah, so if there is situation and normally the election contested for 5 years once. Yeah, so if the government enjoys majority support means it continues for 5 years. If the government loses its majority in Lok Sabha means they have to face the election before 5 years of time. Okay, so the election was conducted 5 years once, and the members of the Lok Sabha were elected directly by the people of India. So there are 545 members in Lok Sabha. Okay, so among the 545 members, so 543 were elected directly by the people of India, and 2 members, so they belong to Anglo-Indian community. So Anglo-Indian community means either of the father or mother belongs to European country, any European country. So they were mentioned as Anglo-Indian community. Okay, so the President of India appoints or nominates 2 members to the Anglo-Indian community. So among 545 members, so 543 were elected directly by the people of India, and 2 were Anglo-Indian members nominated by the President of India to the Lok Sabha. Okay, so this picture shows the Lok Sabha. Okay, so Lok Sabha. So you can note it in news. Okay, so if you note TV news means sometimes they show the Lok Sabha. Okay, then Rajya Sabha. So the parliament consists of 2 houses. One is Lok Sabha, also called as lower house. Then another one is called as Rajya Sabha. It is also called as upper house. Yeah. So Lok Sabha members were elected by the people of India. Then how was the members of the Rajya Sabha elected? Yeah, they are elected by the electoral college consisted of the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the states and the union territories of India. Okay, so the Rajya Sabha members are elected by the MLAs. Yes, MLAs. That means, so the members of the legislative assembly. So there is a state legislative assembly in Tamil Nadu now. Like that, there are each state. So each state have the own state assembly. Okay, so the members of the state assembly and the union territories of India, so choose the Rajya Sabha members through electoral college. So electoral college means what? So nothing but a group of people who are chosen to represent the members of a political party, etc. in the election of a leader. So a group of people who were chosen to represent the members of a political party. Yeah, so in the election of a leader. Okay, so the Rajya Sabha members were elected by the members of the state assembly and the union territory. Yeah. Then the President of India nominates 12 members to Rajya Sabha. So in Lok Sabha, the President nominates 2 Anglo-Indian members. So like that in Rajya Sabha, the President of India nominates 12 members. So who were the 12 members? So the 12 members have been a good contribution in art, literature, science and social services. Yeah, so the 12 members maybe have a good contribution. Yeah. So say for example, so previously, so we have the cricket player Sachin Tendulkar as the Rajya Sabha member. Yeah, so how he was chosen? So he was a nominated member. So he was a nominated Rajya Sabha by the President of India. So among the 12 members, so previously, that is in last year, we have Sachin Tendulkar, a famous cricket player, as the Rajya Sabha MP. Okay, but if you take Lok Sabha, the members were elected directly by the people. If you take Rajya Sabha, the members were chosen by the members, elected representatives of the state assembly. In Lok Sabha, 2 Anglo-Indian community were represented. In Rajya Sabha, 12 Indians, so who were well-known persons in art, literature, science and social services were nominated. So by the President of India. So we have discussed the democracy in India, then the elections. So how the election was conducted, then the 2 houses of the parliament. Yeah, so what is the minimum age required for vote in India? Yeah, 18 years. So who conducted elections in India? Who will conduct the elections? Yeah, the Election Commission of India. So the headquarters of Election Commission of India is called as Nirbachan Sadan. So next, the first elections in democratic India. So when did India got independence? You know? Yeah, 1947. Very good. So when did Indian Constitution came into force? Yeah, 26th January 1950. So based on the Indian Constitution, so the first general election to Lok Sabha, since independence held in India between 25th October 1951 to 21st February 1952. Yeah, so nearly 5 months the election held. Okay, so because during that time there is no transport facility, and people were not that much educated. So the election process went for a longer period. So the first election to the first Lok Sabha since independence, so held in India between 25th October 1951 and 21st February 1952. So the Indian National Congress emerged victorious by winning 364 of the 489 seats. So during that time, the total number of seats in the Lok Sabha were 489. In the 489 seats, the Indian National Congress won the seats of 364. So Jawaharlal Nehru became the first democratically elected Prime Minister of the country. So Jawaharlal Nehru became the first democratically elected Prime Minister of India. So who is the present democratically elected Prime Minister of India? Who is the Prime Minister of India now? Narendra Modi. So he was elected democratically. So the first Prime Minister was Jawaharlal Nehru. So in the election held in 1951 to 52, his party, Indian National Congress, won the seats of 364 of 489 seats. So how many seats were won by BJP in the elections that held in 2019? Don't know. Just check it and tell me tomorrow. So just check it and I will tell you the correct answer tomorrow. Okay, ma? So the first general elections to British India held in 1920. So general elections were held in British India in 1920 to elect the members to the Imperial Legislative Council. See, Imperial Legislative Council means, so the Central Legislative Council and the Provincial Council. So provincial means, so India was divided into many provinces during that time. So Madras, Bengal, so like Bombay, so like that the India was divided into many provinces. So now states are there now. Likewise, provinces are there. So the general elections to the provincial councils and the imperial legislative councils was held in 1920. So they were the first elections in the country's history. Okay, va? So this picture shows Jawaharlal Nehru's election campaign. Okay, va? So he is attending a meeting asking the people to put vote for Indian National Congress. So see the crowd. Okay, va? So this picture shows the election campaign that held in the year 1951-52. Then major challenges to Indian democracy. What are the challenges faced by Indian democracy? So democracy is the dominant form of government in the contemporary world. Democracy is the most important form of government. So dominant, so they only dominate other forms of government in the contemporary world. So contemporary means belonging to the same period. So in this modern world, in this present day world, democracy is the modern form of government. So dominant form of government. It has not faced a challenge or rival. So since its existence, democracy didn't face that much challenge. Okay, va? In the last 100 years, there has been expansion of democracy all over the world. So most of the countries began to adopt democracy. But there are several challenges. So there are various aspects of democracy and challenges. Okay, so what are they? So the challenges faced by democracy in India. First, illiteracy. So illiteracy means, so most of the people were uneducated. So they have no knowledge about the political parties and the election system in India. Then poverty. So most of the Indian people were under poverty. Then gender discrimination. So till we are facing the gender discrimination, that is, we are seeing the difference between. So we didn't treat equally both men and women. So if you take the proportion, the percentage of women in the parliament and in state assembly means it is very poor. So now also we are struggling to give 33% for women. So gender discrimination is there. So women were not given equal rights. Then regionalism. That means everyone is giving importance to their own region or own community only. So they won't think about the whole India. They think about their particular region only. A limit there is there. Then fifth one, casteism. So caste play an important role. Then communalism. So giving importance to their community. Then religious fundamentalism. So religion became a basic thing. So religion became a basic thing. So though we are saying we are a secular country, that means there is no official religion for the state. So there is a religious fundamentalism. So religious rights is there. Then corruption. So corruption means so dishonest or illegal behavior, especially of people in authority. So illegal behavior by the people in authority. Then criminalization of politics. So criminals enter into politics. So the political parties, most of the political parties consist of criminals with them. So they have some criminal cases. The members who were elected as the representatives were sometimes be criminals. So criminalization of politics. Then political violence. So violence method nowadays followed in political parties. Okay, so political violence exists there. Okay. So these are the challenges so faced by the Indian democracy. So first illiteracy, then second poverty, then third gender discrimination, fourth regionalism, fifth casteism, communalism and religious fundamentalism, sixth corruption, seventh criminalization of politics, then eighth political violence. Conditions for the success of democracy in India. So though there are challenges to Indian democracy, so something make Indian democracy a successful. What are they? So first, empowerment of the poor and the illiterates to enjoy the goodness of democracy. So empowerment means so to give somebody more control over their own life or the situation they are in. Yeah, so the democracy gave the power of the poor and illiterates to enjoy the goodness of democracy. So the goodness of democracy was enjoyed by both the poor and illiterates. So they were given power. So they were given control. So through elections. So even poor people and illiterate people have the right to vote. So they enjoyed the goodness of democracy. Then second, willingness among the elected people not to misuse their powerful position and public wealth. So sometimes the elected representatives so have willingness, that is they are ready to help the poor. So they won't misuse their powerful position and they won't misuse the public wealth because they have to face the people in election. So for that reason they were ready to help the people. Then eradication of social evils and dangers from which democracy suffers. So democracy suffers from social evils, that is the bad things in society and also the danger things. So the democracy try to eradicate, that is try to destroy or try to remove the social evils. Then an impartial and efficient press to form the public opinion. So press means so media, so newspaper or electronic media like TV. So most of them were impartial. Impartial means they won't support any particular party. So not supporting one person or group. Under efficient, that is doing something well. So nowadays the press, that is the media, were doing well in forming a public opinion. So presence of strong public opinion. So because of the development in technology and transport, especially in communication, so there is a strong public opinion. So presence of strong public opinion. Then feeling of tolerance and communal harmony among the people. So nowadays people so accepted other religions, accepted other people in a peaceful way. So the feeling of tolerance. So tolerance means so the willing to accept somebody or something in a peaceful way. So the people nowadays accept other community feelings in a peaceful way. So say for example, so recently in Ayodhya, what happened? So the Supreme Court have ordered to construct the temple, so Ram temple. So that was accepted by the Muslim community also. At the same time, Hindu people were ready to give land in Ayodhya itself for the construction of the mosque, so Babar Mosque. So this is an example for communal harmony among the people. So people were ready to follow the communal tolerance. So tolerance and communal. Then awareness among the people of the fundamental rights that they are entitled to enjoy. So nowadays people know about their fundamental rights. So there are 6 fundamental rights, So the fundamental rights were enjoyed by the people. Then conscious check and vigilance on the working of the elected representatives. So the elected representatives were checked by the government authorities. So the elected representatives were checked consciously. And vigilance. So vigilance means very careful to notice any signs of danger or trouble. So the vigilance. So carefully watch any danger or any sign of danger is there. Then powerful and responsible opposition. So the opposite parties have full power. So they can ask good questions and they criticize the government in public place. So these are the things so that makes the democracy successful in India? So first, empowerment of poor and illiterates to enjoy the goodness of the country, willingness among the elected people not to misuse their power, then eradication of social evils, then importance of press. Okay, so press, they play an important role in forming public opinion, then presence of strong public opinion, then the feeling of tolerance and communal harmony among the people, then so people awareness about the fundamental rights, then the conscious checking of the working of the elected representatives, then the powerful and responsible opposition. So this makes the democracy a successful one in India. Indian democracy can be successful and vibrant, that is energetic. So only when its citizens imbibe. So imbibe means to absorb and reflect in their behavior the basic democratic values. So when will be the Indian democracy be successful means only when its citizens absorb and follows some democratic qualities. So when the people of India, when the citizens of India absorb and reflect some basic democratic qualities means Indian democracy can be successful. So what are the democratic values? So they are equality, that is treating people equally. Then freedom, that is we have freedom, we have to respect and obey others' freedom also. Then social justice, that is giving opportunity for all the people, so treating people equally. So the without any caste or religion or any community, so we have treat the people equality. Then accountability. So accountability means so everything should be held in a transparent way. So the government service should be held in a transparent way. So and respect for all. You have to respect the other people also. So if the people observe and follow these qualities means then the Indian democracy will be very successful. Then their mindset, thinking and behavior are expected to be in tune with the essential condition of democracy. So people's mindset and thinking and behavior have to be in tune, have to be in a way which support the democracy. So we have to think behavior the way in which the democracy would be a successful one. Then they have to appreciate the opportunities for the desired roles like participation, making the system accountable, fulfilling obligations and playing proactive roles to actualization the goals of democracy. Then we have to appreciate the opportunities, we have to appreciate the chances. So for the desired roles, for the roles like participation, that is we have to get the opportunity to participate. So we have the right to participate in the democracy and we have to make the system accountable. Then we have to fulfill the obligations. So obligation means so some things which we want to do. So we have to fulfill the obligations. That means we have to fulfill the needs. Then play proactive. So proactive means controlling. So we have the controlling role in the democracy. So that is the people were responsible for the success of democracy in a country. So that democracy will be successful only when the people or the citizens of a country participate actively. So how we can participate? We have to put vote in elections regularly. So if there is an election means we have to put our vote. So and we have to ask questions and we have to participate in the democratic activities very bravely and boldly. Okay students, so we have discussed about the democracy in India, then the elections in India, then the two houses of parliament. Also we have discussed the first elections in democratic India. So when was the first elections held? From 25th October 1951 to 21st February 1952. So who emerged victorious? So which party emerged victorious in the first election? Indian National Congress. So who was the first democratically elected Prime Minister of India? Jawaharlal Nehru. Then we discussed about the major challenges to Indian democracy. So what are they? Illiteracy, poverty, gender discrimination, regionalism, corruption, political violence, etc. Then we discussed about the condition for the success of democracy in India. Okay students. So if you have any doubt, just contact me. So first to say, what is image shown in this picture? So do you have any idea? No. So this is the model building about the parliament so to be constructed in future. So the present central government have decided to construct a new parliament building. Okay, so for that they announced publicly to construct a parliament building. So for that a company have present the model to the central government, which was accepted. So in the central government was planning to construct a new parliament building. So this picture was the new parliament building model. Okay, students. Today's homework. So take page number 244. So fifth Roman letter. Answer in detail. So see the first detail. What are the challenges to Indian democracy? Explain. So take page number 242. So there is a heading, major challenges to Indian democracy. Is there no? Yeah, see in that, starting from first, democracy is the dominant form of government in the contemporary world. It has not faced a serious challenges or a rival so far, up to that. Then leave next point, then come to next point. The various aspects of democracy and its challenges are. Then write those 8 points: illiteracy, poverty, gender discrimination, regionalism, casteism, communalism, religious fundamentalism, corruption, criminalization of politics, and political violence. So write it in your homework note. Okay, so for textbook reading, so read the conditions for the success of democracy in India. So there are totally 10 points. So read that 10 points. It is also a book back question. It is question number 2. So that is 10 points. You just read well 5 points. It's enough. Okay, students. Thank you. So do your homework. So have a nice day.